This channel is a not-so-proud member of YouTube's all-encompassing special society of heavily overwhelmed layout enthusiasts. Check any railway show, check any railway club, check any layout, check your own house. You'll find one of us somewhere. Warning, the content of this stream is not suitable for children under the age of 16. The topic, language, themes, attitude, and personality of the presenter is not appropriate for anyone, much less children under the age of 16. Topics discussed will not center on trains and will focus on anything except politics. It just happens trains are running. Any similarity between characters, situations, trains, and intelligent thoughts is strictly a coincidence. Any rebroadcast or transmission of the stream without the express written consent of Major League Baseball is strictly prohibited. Viewer discretion is advised. Remember the 3 rules for model train layouts and pretty much anything. It's your layout, do what you want as you want. Do not tell someone else what to do unless they ask you directly what they should do. Do not call out, mock, criticize, or insult another channel on your channel or anyone else's channel. Thank you for your cooperation.
And see it, you'll love it. And it's all done in the best possible way.
Hey everybody, happy Friday to all you fellow Knights of the Rhomboid Table. Welcome into our weekly gathering in the Mead Hall. Hope you're all well. Speaking of well, let's start off with anybody who knows, and even if you don't know, Mark from Model Railway Fantasia. Last I knew, he was scheduled to go into surgery yesterday where they were going to take part of his hand. They didn't know how much they were going to take. Last time I talked to him, he was worried they were going to take the whole thing. But he did say surgery would be Thursday. So if y'all could just spare a thought and a hope for our friend Mark, who often watches in the background or on makeup. So we want to keep him in mind. And to anybody else that I'm forgetting that has been sick or surgery, I know Artie, our good friend Artie from Down Under, has been fighting lots of shoulder issues and some stuff the last few weeks. So we'll wish him well. I know many of you have been having the various colds and flus that are going around, especially this time of year. But so anyhow, let's just get into greeting everybody that is here, and then to all of you in the background and so forth. So at the top of my list, we have Sir Daz of Faulkner Station is here. Sir Eric from ANC Railroad and Scale and Life Journey has popped in, I assume from dialysis. Sir Carl Braun from Bangotcher Junction, Sir Colin of White, Sir Andy the Hot Dog Pilot, the Royal Air Force Commander is here. Sir John of Benicki is here. Sir Lyndon from Lintree Town Trains and Models is here. Welcome in, Lyndon. Cool video yesterday, I believe it was. Sir Andy from March West Junction, an awesome video from you. Lady Lindy Loves, if you don't know that, Lindy Loves is my daughter. Hi, Kyan. Oma's not here yet. You got a couple hours before Oma gets here, but hi, my dear. By the way, you left Kyan's bottles here and a package of wipes here. His drink cup. Or I forgot to give them to you. I forgot I took them out of the bag and didn't put them back in the bag. So hello, darling. Nice to have you here. And hi to Chris, although I know he's working. Sir Mick, the Royal Barkeep, is here, so we're good to go. Sir Dino of Model Railway Shed is here. And again, thank you for that car. It's going to be running today because I'm so excited. Sir Clive of Newland Railway is here. Sir Tim, our CEO, is here. Sir Tom Houston is here. Nice to have you. Sir Chris from the Valley. Sir Mark from Xantec is here. I know Sir Lee was here earlier. Sir Simon from SJ Train World just popped in. And glue your eyes open. It's been a long day. I can understand that. Although I did decent sleep last night for the first time this week. So if I missed anybody because you had chatted earlier and it's disappeared off my screen, I apologize. Sir John Benicki, I believe I said hello to you, but I'll say a double hi just in case. I think Lee is the only one that is listening in the background and while he's working, which is par for the course, right? So anyhow, yeah, let me start off by apologizing to all of you. I'm sorry to have flooded your airwaves with so many videos, especially two that were over 30 minutes long. You have to send a Dapol because its lights blue with smoke. Hi was in Steve Childers' chat, so he may pop in or he may have things to do this evening. After all, over to you guys in the UK and on the continent over there. I mean, this is Friday evening, you know, going out to the pub with mates, going to movies, going out with your loved ones. I am amazed we always get, speak of which, there's Hi, but when people don't show up, I just assume, oh, they had something to do today, you know. Or I hope it's a positive reason they're not here today. Oh, we went out, went to dinner, the wife and I, the husband and I, the mates and I, whatever, we went out. But anyhow, I want to apologize. I had put out, God, how many videos this week? 4, 5? Pretty much daily. And at least 2 of them well over half an hour, and a couple more over 20 minutes. But unfortunately, that's kind of how I am. I work. And I've actually got 2 more videos in the tank that I want to put out, but I'm taking today and tomorrow off from posting videos. Although some of you, there's a couple of people in the background, Michael and... oh crap, who's the other one? Pedro, who asked questions, and I did make, as promised to you in the comments, I did make a video to explain it. I'm just going to give all of you viewers a rest from another Model Train Outsider video. So, yeah, I mean, I'm stoked. I had a great time. I can't speak for him, but I will give you my impression. Jean Ricard called me to see if I was indeed starting to work on this Wednesday morning. You know, it's Wednesday afternoon for him. He had Wednesday off. So he usually calls me the minute I have a video up, like, Anthony, I just saw a video you put up. So I just wanted to thank you, you know, blah, blah. So I told him, yeah, I was getting ready to work. I had to finish burning the 3 rails video. Or was it the mail video? The 3-way. I forget which video I was saying. As soon as I get done with that, I will get to work down here because I was motivated to do it. And I was worried because, like, wow, what if I run into a problem? I won't have trains to run. And I'm just like, there shall be no problem. I know what I'm doing, damn it. I've already done this once, and even though this is a bit more involved, I know how to work it. I've been doing the math for 2 weeks. I know how it's going to work out. I'm going to have to adjust everything half an inch, you know, half an inch, not half an inch, half an inch, you know, 12 millimeters, 1.25 or 1.22, whatever, centimeters. You know how it works. Okay. So, oh, there is Jean Ricard. Oh, I thought you said you would be here later, but you might be here now. So, Jean, I don't want to speak to you. I don't want to speak for you, but I'm going to say it seemed like at times I think Jean was impressed at A, how quickly I was working, and B, how quick my brain does math. I was, it's like, okay, I got a gap here. That's 237 millimeters. Okay, so what pieces do I need to throw together from the Märklin system to come up? And he's like, a 172 and a 172. And I was like, nope, that's a little, you know, that doesn't do it. That's not enough. Or too much, you know. And I just said, give me a second, beep, 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 and I'll grab 2 or 3 pieces, pop, 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 boom, done. And Jean's like, it fit? Yeah, wall. What did I use to teach? Man, I taught a lot of things in my years. I ended my career teaching German and world mythologies. So it was a combination of Greek and Babylonian and Egyptian and Native American and blah, blah, blah. It was just sort of an elective course. I taught English, speech, reading. I taught history a little bit. Yeah. And Sir Tom Couples, the new Sergeant at Arms, is now here. Welcome in, Sir Tom. Thank you for being here. So yeah, I was busting my butt. See, this is the thing. I am by static state. I am lazy. I am a bit lazy. But the minute I have a project, I will work like a rabid beaver on cocaine. I just, and I'll keep going. Like when I built this basement, there will be guys that would quote it, it'll take us 3 weeks to redo your basement. I did it in a week. And I just go. Hello, JD at Grandpa Rails. How are you? Welcome in, Sir JD. So yeah, I'm very stoked about it. I have tested it, but probably not enough. So far, so good. Everything has run, and I'm jinxing myself because even though I've done the project until it's done, it's been used a few times, I don't relax. But I'm very happy about it. I think it looks cool. In fact, I think this shot maybe will let you guys see it. Again, I don't know who really pays attention to the layout. Bingo. But, well, yeah, the trains are black in the new section here. And, but, you have this section here. And then down here, I did all the work. And I did steal a couple. So, decoders off of an area up here, which you can't see behind that number 9. But I had 4 turnouts up there, or 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 turnouts. So I robbed 2 of them of their decoders and motors, and I put them over here. So everything is digitized over here, except for the little on-off ramp from lane 6, which you can't see. It's on this side. You would see it. But, so there's that. And I decided to throw up a poll today because I'm curious. Whenever I watch a video, I read the description, either while I'm watching the video or immediately before or after. I always read the description to see if they say something before I might ask a question, and maybe they answer the question in there. So I just wonder how many of you guys actually read the description, because I put a lot of information, some of it useless, but sometimes it answers questions people actually ask in the comments. I'll say, well, I answered it in the description. I also correct any typos I miss, because I do this. I don't write a script, so I shoot from the hip when I'm talking about things. And then if I miss something in editing and I upload it, I'll then watch it in upload and go, oh crap, I screwed that up. I forgot to correct that, vocal error, or I did a typo in the in one of my captions. Like, for example, I had a typo in today's video that came out about finishing this job, where I referred to one of the pieces as 2-6 6 whatever, and it was 2-4-6. Yeah, I think I typed 2-6-6-1-2, and it's 2-4-6-1-2. So I correct that stuff, so anybody who's looking for the parts. But anyhow, yeah, so it's been hectic, it's been crazy, but it's been a good crazy. I had a lot of fun. And actually I set up a tablet so Jean, video chatting with me, could see what I was doing, and if I had a question, I could throw it at him, or he, we just to talk to somebody, because I'm so used to working on this stuff alone, and I talk to myself just in my head, and I'll listen to music or something like that. And but yeah, I'm very happy. I did even post a video. I've had a couple of mail deliveries, so I want to have special things to talk about that. I got a new, well, let's go to the trains and you'll see it. Where are you? Let's go to 11 lane view. Let's go to 11 lane view. All right, so I am going to run that Amtrak, because it's been a long time since I ran that IC3 Amtrak. And then I am running a Czech EC with the Vectron locomotive. And then right behind it, this came in the mail yesterday, except not all of it did. I got another ICE3 for an amazing low price. Normally, the cheapest you could get one is about $400 used, and I got this one for half of that. I paid $190 for a 5-car. The exact same set that was my first one, 37783. But I wanted it because I'm going to complete this train. Some of you who know the Herb story know that Herb had an ICE3, couple of ends and one car that he did the striping on it, so it has the German flag stripe. Germany did this for an ICE4, but I don't think they did it for an ICE3 where they replaced the red stripe with a German flag stripe. There's the rainbow stripe one. There's a blue stripe one. There is the climate change green stripe one, and I've got that one in ICE4, but I don't have anything special. So anyhow, I wanted an ICE3 cheap because he didn't have a power car for it, and nobody sells just the power car. Trust me, I've been looking for months, and so I bought a cheap ICE3. I found it online. Had a little bit of money, I could go for it, and I bought it from Trains down in Buford, Georgia. And thanks to Herb, I actually have the stripes to go on it. So over time, I'll be replacing it. So the 3 cars you're going to see that have the German flag stripes on it are actually Herb's cars. And then I've got 3 cars sitting on the side, and I'm just using the power car and one of the cars from that IC3 set I just bought. I also got some special couplings thanks to Evo, KD number 17, and I'll show you what that's working on in a minute. So let's get some trains going. I've been babbling enough. You're sick of my voice, especially if you've watched all my videos this week. So let's get some guys in motion, and hopefully things will run as well as they did in practice. I'm really scared because I've been talking to friends going, wow, everything ran well in trial, and I'm scared all of a sudden all the flaps are gonna open and it's gonna look crazy now, and so yeah, I have just a little bit of nerves. Let's get that Czech IC going. I'm eating some cheese, drinking some wine, catching some rays. Always with the negative waves, Moriarty. Always with the negative waves. Crap! All right, so here goes the IC3 with the German flag. So you can see the first 2 cars had German flag. Then the board restaurant, that'll get a stripe. The next car will get a stripe. And then the end cab control car has a stripe. And then I brought these guys out. I haven't run these guys in a while. These are the 2, they're from the cars are from 1987, but what they're representing was from 1985, 1986, the Deutsche Bahn experimental livery trials. So I got these 2 trains out, so it's kind of an eclectic mix. For all of you that like it when I run freight, I apologize. I don't really have freight running today. That guy just takes a minute to get going. And now I gotta switch gears over here. And let's get this guy underway. There we go. And then way in the back, this is a very weird combination, but this is finally happening thanks to Evo's suggestion. Whoop, uh-oh. Oh my. Yep. As feared. Why did you cross over? I did not open that, or did I bump it open somehow? Yep. How did I bump that open? Huh. Did I accidentally click on it? Oh, I must have. Sorry, gang. There was... Wow, I am just too frickin' psychic sometimes. I'm too frickin' psychic. I say something about, read about one of the latches suddenly just opening up. Guess what happened? One of the turnouts opened up and we had a 3-way crash. I just checked to make sure everything was off and low or green, and it was, and then all of a sudden one of these opened up. How did you open up? So that was crazy. Make sure everybody else is straight. Yeah. So somehow that switch just opened up on its own. Let me make sure everybody is ready to go again. Because they did get around once and then it opened. Oh, wait. My bad. I forgot to get... I did not realize you were derailed, my friend. I'm sorry. Okay. Well, sometimes I'm just psychic. Yeah, I bumped it going over there. Sorry. That's my other dog impersonation. Yes, Mark, it is made of 2 different sets because Herb, before he gave up on the hobby, started converting a set to, he had picked up some cars, and he started converting a set to the German flag. He's got the decals, and he sent me the decals, so I have the decals here to finish the job. So I just got to do it. Hey, Sir Digger, welcome in. So, yeah, I really did jinx myself. I sit here and I say, everything went well in warm-ups, and then all of a sudden, I was worried. More to the left. You're not going to see much more, but yeah, that all it does is you'll pick up right there. Simon, I ran a beer train last week. I, in fact, ran a beer train last week. But yeah, that was just weird. I don't know if when I was scrolling around, I clicked on something that would have opened the switch, but switch 502. No, I'm sorry. Switch 401. Switch 401 opened. Switch 401 open, and so the, I'm sorry, 405. I've still got to learn my nomenclature. 405 open and went across diagonal. It was heading to lane 1. So it went from 5 for 1, and the German flag IC3 hit it, and the other 111 hit it coming the other way. So it got sandwiched. I'm surprised. I'm surprised. You have a couple of black trains. I'm surprised it wasn't as bad as it was, but yeah, we had a 3-way train crash there. Live! Hey, who says I spare no expense to bring entertainment? But I'm still trying to figure out why it opened. And that's one of the weird things of digital electronics is every now and then, sometimes you could just turn the central station 3 on and that little buzz of energy will cause something to open. Sometimes the rail, the flip rail, I don't know what you call it. What do you call the rail that actually pivots? You know, is there a name for those rails that actually pivot? Type it in down below if you know. You know, whether in the model train world or big world. But so sometimes it will not go all the way and line up tight against the rail it's supposed to seal against, and certain cars with certain wheels will dig behind it and force it open and start sliding. Is it the tongue? Is that part called the tongue? That would make sense in a way. Oh, that sounds cool. 7 plane. That's a lot of wagons you're putting on there. Although I'm a little concerned about the use of that word Ford. Oh, and because I've been distracted with that, sorry. Let's go to the floor cam. And again, a special thank you. I don't know how it worked out, guys. I apologize. It just all happened where Clive said, Anthony, here's one. And then Dino sent me a picture that says, Anthony, here's this. And it was the same one on eBay. And said, do you want me to get it? And I said, yes, please. So whether it was just Dino on his own or Clive and Dino or everybody working behind the scenes, but thank you for that extra car. This looks just that much cooler to have that middle car. I'm still going to try to find 2 more, but I think this was just a 3-car set, and I don't think they ever made expansion cars. I've seen the cars sold solo at times, but anyhow, let's get them. And I'm going to run my Scotrail. So I'm running a couple of British shorties today, a couple of UK shorties. Ah, hand! And we'll get those guys on the floor going. Well, hello, Sir Alan of Dragon Junction. Welcome in, sir. Great to have you. They call it a switchblade. I like that term, too. A switchblade. But yeah, sometimes the switchblade on these devices doesn't flip over all the way, or you might have a wire that underneath that's blocking the mechanism from getting it all over the way. These are beautiful mechanisms, but I will criticize just a little bit Märklin's design of the double slips because they have all the wirings bubbling up right there where you have these 2 little, I call them wires in my video, but 2 very minuscule metal rods, you know, about 1/4 the diameter of a metal coat hanger. And when they pivot back and forth, the wires can catch on that. The wires can catch it and block it at times. So it'll work 1,000 times fine, and then one time humidity, heat causes the wire to bend a bit more or something like that. And yeah. Oh, I've got to fix or clean that track because he has been stopping in the same. That one guy's been stopping. Who is blocking what here? Let's get that out of the way, dude. There we go. Oh, somebody stopped, or did I not get him going? I never got him going. Ah, all right, let's get this guy going. And then let me show you what's special about this guy. All right, if you look in the background, that is the autism awareness boxcar that Tammy and Ray from Mom and Son Rail Fans sent me a year and a half ago, and I've never run it on my layout because it had different couplings that were not NEM couplings. And EFO last week on the show said you can get an NEM coupling to put on the back of a car and switch them in. So it's not a shorty. It's a shorty if I call it a shorty. But anyhow, let me get him a little more up to speed. And I bought this Beatles boxcar 3 years ago, and I let Kyan play with it over here at times, but I've never been able to run them on my layout because I didn't have the couplings. Well, now, thanks to EFO telling me which KD coupling, I just took a couple of these boxcars I got from Herb, or reefer cars I got from Herb, and I put the matching couplings in, and voila. So, Tammy and Ray, if you happen to watch this at some time or come in, I finally get to honor your wonderful gift. So thank you for that. I am so pleased that I can finally run that. It's not that it's not railed correctly. It's got a lean in it. It's actually all four wheels are on. It's just got a bad lean. One of the bogies is not right. Oh, and now that I defend it, that happens. Oh. But if you look at it, you can see it in the Beetle one. It's got a rough bogey on it, so it doesn't sit smooth. Oh my God. Oh my God, come on. Even when I use the re-railer, it fights. Oh. Let's see if this will... See, the problem is, since I've been test running it, it's got a very stiff bogey on it. All right, let's get everybody back in motion. And so, yeah, now it just went off again going around the curve. It's got really, the wheels on it are really short phalanges, so it just keeps popping off the track. I had it going, but now it's acting like a real jerk. It just, any little bump will take it off. Well, I'm going to give up on that one. Well, before I give up on it, I'm going to turn it around and see if that helps. But yeah, it just... But it's got a lean and it's got a bad bogey on it. It's just really stuff. Hi, Monsville. Unfortunately not, Raymond. This is jammed in there. It's jammed in there, and I've tried to loosen it. It's not oil. It's just the way the bogey sits. And it's also got a lean to it. Whether, you know, that might have happened in shipping, but running with it today. Wow, why am I all of a sudden blasting here? Testing, testing. Wow, my volume on my mic is all of a sudden out of control. Why is that suddenly working better? Let's do a test here and see if we can sort that out. That might be it. I mean, I don't know what's on it. I've never run. This is the first time I ran it. I ran it in practice. I had a little bit of trouble, and then I seemed to straighten it out. And now, of course, we're live, so it's going to demand more attention. It's become a bit of a diva. Yeah, my mic just exploded. Again, I didn't touch anything, and just all of a sudden it was at massive broadcast. So right now, tech is acting very crazy with me. I don't know why. My mic suddenly went full blast, even though the setting's where it always is. I don't know. I really can't tell you. Oh, Evo, they're plastic. They're plastic wheels. Hey, Sir Rainbow Bell, thank you, thank you. Yeah, I'm sorry about that, guys. It just all of a sudden exploded. My mic, that is. It just... I turned around and saw it was red. I was whispering and it went red. So I don't know what's going on in the settings that it suddenly did that. Because, again, I touched nothing. So apparently I just have some sort of mechanical gremlin hanging around right now that just wants to cause me trouble. And it lost its cars again. All right, I'm giving up on that one. Sorry, Tammy. I really wanted to make it a happy thing, but it's just being a bugaboo. Time to deploy the new toy. Fortunately, I keep one on handy for just such an emergency. All right, Beetle car and this car, we're just going to take it all off and go back to the original train. It was a fun idea while it lasted, but it didn't last long. I tried, Tammy, I tried. If you're watching this on replay, I tried so hard to make it work. All right. I tried so hard to get it to work, and it just didn't want to work. I'm trying to show off all my new turnouts, and unfortunately that happens. Hey, Sir Brian of Finnerton is here. All right, well, I will give that a try. I'm going to have to look at the right, see if I have any of the right metal wheels I could put on it. Because, yeah, these do not have very deep phalanges, and they are very, very shallow. Do I have two of those? Well, I have one less of those now. Stupid fingers. Let's go to sort of a multi-view for you guys. There, that's probably a better one for you guys to see. I have been wanting to run this car since Tammy sent it to me. And sure enough, I finally feel like I got a way to do it, and it decides to act up. I don't know, are these... They look about the same. Well, hello, Sir Dave from Scotrail. Good afternoon to you. I don't think this bogey likes this wheel. Apparently I need a shorter prong. It should work. Just getting it in is going to be the issue. Swing and a miss. Strike two. And strike out. Next batter, please. That's why I like the European ones that have the little V slit in them so you can squeeze them in. Well, hello, Kara and Willie. Guten Tag, although Willie might still be at school right now. Well, hello, Sir John from BFGR. Welcome in, welcome in. And anybody else? I'm sorry, I'm distracted trying to work on something and I'm not paying attention to the chat. And that is why when I do a video, you don't always get all the steps I went through. Like in the most recent video, one point I have all the track ripped out. The next point I have everything in except for a couple of pieces of track because I just kept working and working and working and forgot, oh yeah, I wanted to stop and film this. And now, for those of you on smartphones, the view you hate, the multi-view. We've got a bogey on our tail. Yep. He's on your six. He's on your six. What am I working on now? Actually, I was trying to replace some axle wheel sets on this American car because it's got plastic wheels and they just keep derailing. It's actually not that lightweight a car. I've got other cars that weigh less than this that I don't have derailing issues, but it's plastic wheels and they have very short phalanges on them. And Märklin C-Track is code 83. So there should be, I mean, it's not like it's too big a phalange, it's too small a phalange. Well, that's just gross to think about, Andy. Yeah, I mean, this is, and the thing is, this is why I don't like to record while I'm actually working, because then I'm thinking about the camera and not paying attention to what I'm doing. And the one time I did try to record while I was working, I can't get behind the camera because it's on a big tripod, so I can have both hands free, and I'm holding the stuff halfway on the camera and halfway off while I'm working on it. Now, I could have asked Joyce to come down and turn the camera so it was on what I was doing more, but I think Joyce would have been a little bit upset considering she would have been grading papers and writing things up to be forced to come downstairs and work on my stuff. Well, hello, sir. Andy Dobson. Welcome in. But, yeah, it was... I just had a good vibe all the way through the work. By the time I actually decided, I got the box of stuff on Tuesday. I wasn't supposed to get it till Wednesday, so in my brain I was like, I'll have to wait till Friday after today and start it. But it came Tuesday, so my brain's like, I could start after Kyan leaves, because I have Kyan on Tuesday. I could start after he leaves, and then I'd have all day Wednesday to work on it. So, yeah, I decided to go for it. Tuesday, I took all of the new turnouts, all the new double slips, and I put the motors and decoders in all of them. And then I still felt like it was early enough in the evening. It was about 8 o'clock, and I just looked at my 2 3-way turnouts and said, I can do that in less than an hour. I can do it in less than 20 minutes. So I just popped them out, put the 2 motors in, the new decoder. The wiring was a little awkward to try to fit it all in properly. And I put them back in, and ta-da, 2 3-ways. I should have read the manual, since it's the first time I was installing this type of decoder into this type of track. I should have read the manual and would have said, make sure you leave 2 addresses free. So if you give it address 503, it's actually going to take 503 and 504. Because I didn't read the manual and just looked at the pictures, I missed that. So I gave my first triple the address 503 and the second one 504. So when I was hitting right slip on one, right turn on one, it was left turning on the other. They were working together. And then Jean Ricard said, oh, did you check to make sure they're not sharing an address? I'm like, what? He says, the decoder needs 2 addresses. I was like, oh. So once I adjusted that, made one address 503 and the other 3-way 505, everything was perfect. Hello, Ian! Force a habit for a penthouse reader? Well, the thing is, I could get somebody to hold the camera. It would just interfere with their time. Lord knows I've built many things, mostly by myself. Actually, my family, when I'm doing a major construction, they're eager to help. My son and my younger daughter, well, my older daughter too, but I didn't do as many home construction jobs when she was younger. But my younger daughter and my youngest, my son, they love to help Dad build. You know, and of course I was trying to teach them certain tricks of the trade so that you know how to fix and repair things when they get older. But anyhow, yeah, so I did all that. Colin is in the East Midlands. Directions? We don't need no stinking directions. Indeed. And hello, Sir Eric. And hello, Canadian CLL. I've got to remember what I just saw the name, and I always forget. Locomotive Logistics. And you just call him Darren. My problem is I keep forgetting he's Darren. I keep forgetting. It takes me a while before I get names down. Bonsoir, Titi Harry, ça va? You only remember because he has funky spelling. My problem is I was a teacher for 36 years. So after a while, there's no such thing as funky spelling. I have seen every form of every name spelled multiple ways. I have seen half a dozen ways to spell Heather, half a dozen ways to spell Anthony or more. Yeah, there was a time in my career, about the time my oldest was starting high school, her grade level for about 3 years before and after, there were all these girls named Caitlin. Caitlin was a popular name for a few years. Everybody was naming their daughter Caitlin. And I had about 20 different spellings of Caitlin in that 8-year span where it was really popular. Only one thing, it's Ari. It's A-R-I, not A-R-T. But I would agree, it would be one of my favorite arts too. Some people finger paint, not my wife, she likes to. Oh, I'm sorry. Sly and the Family Stone, very funky. Yeah, my eyes are older than I am, unfortunately. Allo, allo. And welcome in Great Northern 70. Hello to Minnesota. Grand Funk Railroad back in the day, yep. We're an American band. Of course, my favorite by them is I'm Your Captain. Love that song. Love that song. I'm your captain. I'm your captain. Though I'm feeling mighty sick. Technically, Monsville, at the start of the video for every live stream, I say this is not a family show. Some people bring their family in. I have my grandson Kyan watching. But as my kids would tell you, Dad does not always. Opa doesn't always, pardon me, that's my ringtone. Oh my God. Spam call, spam call, spam, 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 wonderful spam, lovely spam. But then again, even as a teacher, I was teaching high school students. I was known to occasionally drop certain words that maybe a teacher shouldn't drop in class, but the kids say worse. Sorry, man, I would keep it there. Well, we went from 45 to 40. I chased up. More Motorhead. Yep, that was Lemmy. My favorite Motorhead song, Ace of Spades. One of my favorite songs from the 80s, Ace of Spades. If you like to gamble, I tell you I'm your man. You win some, you lose some. It's all the same to me. I still remember it in Season 2, Episode 1 of The Young Ones, The Bambi Show. Looks a lot like a pig. That's the way I like it. All right, good night, Mark from Zantec. You've had a long drive. Got all the goodies on the Sult train. Yeah, well, the Sult train's got it. Oh, and it had the Cop Bus 218 and the Prestige. So it had all three in one go. That's cool. Fast Eddie and Filthy Phil. After a rough start, we've gone the last, dare I say, half an hour without anybody acting up. Everybody's running happily now. The points are working beautifully. We removed one troublemaker. Oh, nobody's there. Oh, going through there. There you go. Let's catch him here. Well, Raymond, that reminds me. Typical parent story, father story. My dad cussed like a sailor, although I will say I never heard him drop an F-bomb until I was in my 20s. He got so mad at something, he dropped an F-bomb, and I still remember to this day going, I believe that's the first time I ever heard him say the F word. But anyhow, I'm driving with my dad somewhere. I am 18 years old. I'm going with him to help him pick something up and to carry something. It's right before I leave for West Point. And I have spent my whole life watching my dad work on cars, work on the plumbing. He would wake me up at 5 a.m. on days I didn't have school, like on the weekend when he had to go and repair or fix the boilers at the factory he worked at because he was the maintenance guy. So he had to repair and get the heaters going and the boilers going if they wouldn't start. And he didn't need help, so it was my job to come in, hold the flashlight, pass the 20, 30, 40-pound wrenches to him, etc., etc. And I have heard this man cuss. And many of you can guess where this story's going. But at the age of 18, I've graduated high school, and I'm telling my dad something, and I just was, while my dad's sitting next to me, and Dad, I just told this guy I didn't give a shit, okay? I'm trying to edit. My dad exploded. How dare you talk like that in front of me? And then he said those words that made me break out cackling. Where did you ever learn to talk like that? And I'm like, you? Hate to break it to you, Dad, but you? How he could straight face with all the cussing he did in his life, and the first time I actually cussed in his presence, he blows up at me and asks me, where did I learn to talk like that? You know, sort of like the scene from the movie A Christmas Story. The dad's always cussing and blowing up, and Ralphie says the wrong word that one time. Where did he learn to talk? And he finally says it was the other kid, and so, what? Oh, what'd I do? Yeah, well, see, it's not my problem, it's the rest of the world's problem. Words are just words. It's ridiculous that we pick certain words and say, don't say that. You know, you can say caca, poo-poo, doo-doo, number 2, fecal matter, defecation, feces, brown baggage. There are a dozen, 2 dozen, 3, 4, 5 dozen euphemisms for it in the English language. But one 4-letter variant, oh my God, we're in an outrage. We're talking about the same stuff, so why should the word matter? So what word you use for it? Because somebody somewhere decided, I don't like the sound of that word, so I'm going to ban it. Could you imagine? Excuse me, guys, I'll be right back. I got to take a poo. Does that sound any better? I have to go into the latrine and deposit some fecal matter. I'd prefer to do it alone. Please, don't follow. You know, it's... Oh, yeah, Tom, I'm afraid my middle daughter, she can't go 2 sentences without dropping the F word. And she didn't hear it that often from me, but it's just the vernacular of the world she's in. But yeah, she can't go more than 2 or 3 sentences without saying the F word. I mean, I knew a 14-year-old kid that grew up with very conservative parents. And at 14, he would get up and say, "Excuse me, I have to go take a wee." And it wasn't like he was being facetious with it. I got to go wee-wee. Oh, the crap that poor kid took from all the other junior high kids and stuff, because that's what he said, because anything else was just the parents went... So, to me, it's not the word, it's how you use it. But, you know, no, we do have silly rules in language about what words. I'll give you another example of this, which is hilarious. When I started our exchange program, we would sit in classrooms with German teachers, and they were teaching in German, and my students had to be in the classroom, and I would observe and make sure my kids were behaving early on. And German kids would go, if anybody's under a certain age, plug your ears, because I'm going to cuss in German and English first. And the kids would go, all right, students, we're going to have a surprise quiz. You know, we're going to have a quiz now about this. And the students would go, Scheiße, Scheiße. And you knew the teacher was hearing them. And the German teacher ignored it. But one kid would go, shit. And the German teacher would go ballistic. And I'm like, it's the same word, different language. Why is it okay to say Scheiße, but it's not okay to say Hypocrites! If you're going to cuss, you better do it in our language. Merde. Sacre bleu, merde! Yeah, so again, we have all these euphemisms for it that to me are more annoying than the actual dirty word. And then, of course, I could go George Carlin on the whole thing. But we could say kill a million times in a movie, but you can't say the F word or somebody gets upset. And what I always tell people to do, if you want to have a laugh, go turn on an old Western. But every time somebody says kill or a variation of kill, put in the same variation of the F word. So the villain comes right into town. Sheriff, you killed my brother, so my men and I, we're here to kill you. We're going to kill you good, Sheriff. And if we have to, we'll kill the whole lot of the deputies to get to you, Sheriff. Yeah, just substitute the F word for kill in any movie, and it's hilarious. Oh yeah, a lot of Russian cuss words have definitely come into dialects here in America as well. Well, hello, Mark. You can finally stay awake. Dropping the kids off at the pool. Yeah, see, now you guys are just running with these euphemisms. You're going through every one. I mean, we could spend hours going through all the different euphemisms just for our bodily functions. And again, when you cross cultures, like the very first time I saw Benny Hill in the early 70s, and he's doing one of his skits, he's playing this old Southern gent, and he calls his, there's First there was Gone with the Wind. Now there's Passing Wind. And he names his postbellum ranch, mansion, Passing Wind. But why'd you have to give it such a stupid name? I like Passing Wind. Well, I know you do, but why'd you have to name the whole estate that? And I was like, Dad, what does Passing Wind mean? And he was just, don't use that kind of language with me. But Dad, I heard it on TV. I didn't think it was bad. Absolutely, Raymond. Absolutely. There are some things we never grow out of. We never grow out of it. But that's just it. It's just one of those things, if we just stop being offended by certain words, and stop having cuss words or dirty words. People say, well, if you feel that way, do you want your grandson running around saying it? I said, no, I don't want him saying it only because so many people would get upset. If we had nobody getting upset over the word, but the problem is, anybody who's raised kids are tape recorders. And I cuss like a sailor too off screen. And I can blame environment, but I know when it's not considered proper, and I will bite my tongue. I will refrain from using discursive words. And, but I've done that. I'm working on something, trying to put something together, and Kayan's at the house, and I'll go, oh! And Kayan will come running in. What's, Grandpa? What's the matter? Or Opa, what's, Grandpa? It's like, don't say that word. And the funniest one, and it is funny now because I'm the Opa and not the parent. And I didn't teach that word to him. But I took him to the park last summer, and I'm pushing him, and he's swinging, and he's having fun. And out of his mouth comes, this is fun. This is fun. And I'm like, wait, did he just say what I think he said? Do it more, Opa. This is fun. And I'm like, Lynn? Did you know your son knows this word? Did he pick it from you? And Lynn's like, no, we try very hard not to say that word around him. But it's out there. He hears people saying it. So even if you don't use it, those kids will hear it from 10 aisles away at Walmart. Hey, that word sounded fun. Let's use it. He has now learned you don't say that word in public, but because I am such a bad influence that when he first did it, and then I realized he did it, my first instinct was not to go, bad, bad, no. My first instinct is to laugh hysterically because it was funny to hear it coming out of the mouth of a 3-year-old. And there's the other part of my brain that's like, yeah, it is. If I was swinging, I'd be thinking this is fun too. There's that. Because when I was about 30, I was probably nearing 30 the first time I actually dropped an F-bomb in front of my dad. And by that time, he's heard that word a million times from my brother and my one sister. And I dropped it. It was almost like, oh God, not you too. I was like, Dad, I've been using that word since I was 12. I just knew if I wanted to keep all my teeth not to use it in front of you, but I let it slip that time. And my dad started lecturing me at the age of 29, 30 years old, you know, and I've got two kids. Like, do you want your kids learning that? You know, why do you got to use such disgusting words? That is such a foul word. It is such a bad word. And I looked at Dad and said, Dad, if it's such a bad word, why does everybody want to do it? He shut up. If it's so bad, why does everybody want to do it? Okay, so there was our... Let's speed that guy up a bit. Everybody else seems to be running well. The little 363's running. Oh, your mom swore in French. I'm not a swinger. It doesn't mean I have one particular topic in mind when that topic comes up, or one particular object in mind when that topic comes up, but that's a different story. Now, we probably don't want to go down that road, but, you know. Well, welcome in, Gary Shanks. Welcome to the Dirty Word Train Talk Show. Dirty words and trains. What words not to say in public? But anyhow, we need to night you. This looks like it's at least your first time. Whoops. Uh-oh. Stupid chat. God, I bad timing on that. All right, Gary Shanks. I now declare you a knight of the Rhomboid table. The next time you type in the chat, Gary, you will have a blue spanner by your name, and you may post a link to your channel if you've got videos or a cool chain or train, comedy, anything that is not politics or religion, any kind of a hobby, fishing, like, hey, here's a really cool fishing channel, or here's a really cool volcano filming site, you know, anything that isn't politics or religion. We keep those things out of here. It is. Oh, that swing. See, you made that joke too late, Jean-Ricard. I had moved on to a different topic. But I wasn't a swinger. I was a pusher. Take that one where you want to go with it. I was a pusher. It looks like the gentlemen down below, the 00 gentlemen, are on the floor doing quite well, it seems. Let's check in with the London 2012 Javelin and the little Scotrail 68 going very nice and happily. A couple of shorties today. Indeed, indeed. Somebody see if I have a pine. Nope. No pineapples in my front window. I'm a one-woman man and grateful for that. No, not all. Not all. But yeah, you don't want to be known as a pusher in the neighborhood park. You know, the cops frown on that one. Oh, greetings, DJ. Hello, hello. Let's go to Longview. Because now you might be able to see, like, the two sets of double slips that I've just put in. And just much cleaner, much nicer. Obviously, in the live streams, you guys don't see me changing lanes. But now that I'm able to do it all sitting here and move trains out, change their lanes, get them on the lanes I want very easily, and it's all digitally controlled. Setting up the live stream this week was very, very easy because I could just, the trains that were on the layout, it was easy to get them in position, and the trains that were in storage to put out, I just put them on lane 1 rather than walk over to lane 4 and put them in. I just put them on lane 1, run them through the loops, and boom, 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 get them on the track I want in the direction I want. And it's just, it was so easy setting up this live stream because I didn't do it until yesterday after my grandson left. Evo, the discussion in this chat is never on rail. As I said, you've seen my beginning 100 or more times. Topics may include anything except religion and politics. And I just happen to run a bunch of Central European trains while all that's going on. Although today I'm running a false flag, an American ICE3 Amtrak, except it never existed. It's just something Piko did as a lark. I love it though. It was my first American train, and I still only have 2 American trains. I have the fake Amtrak ICE3 and the real Amtrak ICE. That came over in 93, 94. When was that? DJ, if you're referring to me, I'm Anthony, not Andy. There's enough Andys. I'm Anthony. Yeah, normally a lot of channels I follow put up videos on Friday. Robert's Train Set is usually good for one. Now, Ray Bobel, he announced he wasn't putting one up this Friday. And again, Ray, if you're still hanging in the background, sorry that things are still going on. You're Susan on Saturday. Well, I'm Betty on certain Saturday nights. No, that's a different story. No, and that's just a joke, kids. I keep wondering if I can adjust this camera. What do you guys think? If I adjust it, do you like the long range this way? Or would you rather see it where it gets all of this table? Like I could tilt it down more and maybe get that one area over there you can't see. I mean, that's why I have that camera. So this is the part you can't see from that other camera. Yeah, you put up a lot of videos, and I'm not necessarily good at remembering which one was the 35, which one, I tend to respond to the 68s, the 43s, and any good passenger train the most. And 66s, just because those are the ones I really know. Well, the Men of Sex, SECS, Southeastern Ecumenical, Southeastern is one word, Southeastern Ecumenical Council Service, SECS, the Men of Sex. Hi, it's looking rather nipply, nippy in here today. Eyes above the neckline, gentlemen. Have themselves been sacked. Yes! Oh my God, the subtitles in Monty Python and the Holy Grail were so awesome. I giggled my way through them when I saw it in the theaters in 1974, 1975. Oh my God, they were so hilarious. No, really, he was carving his initials with an electric toothbrush, carving his initials in a moose with an electric with a galactic toothbrush or whatever it was. It's been a while. I'll have to go watch it now. There's Andy March West. Oh, quick, 11 lane. Woo, catch them all. Gotta catch them all. Pokemon trains, gotta catch them all. Almost had 5 passing, almost had 6 passing at one shot. I was trying to get it because I thought there might be a chance. Get all 6 in one shot. But anyhow, I'm thinking, and the funny thing is I've been thinking this, and then I talked to Jean Ricard earlier today, and he suggests the same thing, is I might do a couple of quick running videos where I'm only running 2 trains, but I'm running them through all the new bits to show off the bits working. So like I could do one where it keeps spiraling around, going down, and then it goes back up. It goes down from 1 to 5, then back up 5. I could do it where then it crosses, does 1, circles around, crosses back, and just like 1 or 2 trains as running sessions, showing off all the new double slips and the practical uses of them. One of these days I may do a video that shows, whoops, oh, bump that, bit of a klutz on my part. Still not sure why my CPU is about 15-20% higher than normal. It's still only at 39%, but normally when I'm doing my live stream, it's about 18%. This is your favorite view. I like the 11-lane view, if that's the one you're referring to here. I do like the 11-lane view. Clink, shut up. Can I set rotes? No. I am still not able to do that, unless I'm misunderstanding what you mean by rotes. I do not have anything sectional. My trains, I turn them on and then I don't touch them, and so no, they won't just stop on their own. The trains don't. The biggest thing is I could just open and close any turnout or double slip and move trains from lane to lane very easily now. I had some that were digital and most were manual, and I'd have to get up and walk around the table to open a switch to bring a train on. No more. Now it's just pop a button and go. It's, you know, hit it on my Central Station 3 or my computer and just let it go. You have a Dapol Terrier. Is that anything like a Scottish Terrier? Everybody's talking about terriers. My only problem with terriers is that when you put them out to run, they don't blow whistles. They just go yap 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 yap. Your trains stop on their own. No, that's it. I have had this discussion, suggestion, argument with dozens and dozens of people. I will never automate my trains. I will never do JMRI, and I'm not condemning JMRI. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do sectional setups on my layout. and have it run. Some people say, oh, but your trains never stop at the station. Well, even if my trains stop at the station, nobody's getting on or off. Automation, to be honest, with my Central Station 3, it's not that hard. It's a lot of wiring. It's a lot of wiring to build the sections. And then you got to go in and set it up in your Central Station 3, or you use a program like Train Controller or JMRI or any of those. So it's a lot of wiring. I don't know that it's super complicated. You know, now I watch what High does, and because I'm not an IT guy, I understand what he's doing, but where he just understands it intuitively and naturally, I don't. And so to me, that is extremely complicated the way High does what he's done. Or some of the guys, like even Charlie Chadwick, where they're building sections in their layout and going to do everything automated. Or my friend Jim from Hover Motion, who, you know, he's got his where he sets up all the trains, and then he's got a schedule, a whole time thing. This train will go out and run and do this. It will do this, 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 while this train is doing this, 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 this. Then this one will go park, and this one will take off. He's got the whole thing scheduled like a master control of British Rails or Deutsche Bahn or whatever. It's amazing, but I don't feel the need to do that. Some people feel the need. I don't. Just having the trains in motion is all I want or need. I've never felt the need to automate. And again, when you're very strong in your convictions, like I am about something, some people take it that you're anti them and they don't understand. No, it's like weathering. I think it's awesome when people weather. I think they look amazing, very realistic. But I'm never going to weather. I don't want to do it, and some of these trains are so damn expensive, I don't want to do it. I paid a lot of money for that white ICE3 and ICE4. I am not about to put graffiti and dirt stains on it. Yeah, and the thing is, that's it with IT. That's with a lot of IT guys. There are some people that their job is their hobby, and their hobby is their job. So they live IT all day, and then when they run their trains, everything's going to be IT. And then there are people, you know, it's like, I know electricians that their houses are wired beautifully and perfectly, and then there are electricians, they spend all day doing things perfectly, and then they cut every corner they can in their house. My dad used to always joke, my dad who was a journeyman electrician, my dad would always joke, never buy a house from an electrician. Tom, you're an ex-IT guy these days, or was that... well, I'm sorry if that's bad news. Very sorry about that, Tom. Well, hello, Brad from Willow Creek Industrial Spur. Welcome in, Sir Brad. So, you know, you got to know what you want. You got to know what makes you happy. You know, I watched a video, and gosh, I can't remember who it was. And it's a topic that's been covered many times. And they're talking about, you know, you can still do things very cheaply in the hobby and blah, blah, blah. And the thing is, I said, yeah, you can. But it's not about can you do it cheaply or not. It's can you do what you want cheaply or not. Anybody can go buy a real cheap disposable HO scale train set, you know, still, you know, analog, but I'm not talking battery operated, but like what Tyco used to make, and you could go to Toys R Us or Walmart, and it's the one train set they have, HO scale, with a transformer to work it. And you could spend $59, $69, $79, and you've got a train and a loop of track. That's cheap. But is that all you want to do with it? Are you going to be content with a loop of track and that one train? If you want a really fancy automated layout, you're not going to be able to do that too cheaply. You can make it cheaper than some people can, but you're still going to spend some money. In fact, if Clive is still listening in the background, I had a quick conversation with Clive after yesterday's video. He talked about that it's kind of cool to see what I'm doing, but the expense, since there's no third-party people doing it. And there isn't a third party doing C-Track as Märklin does it, because it's all patented and copyrighted and everything else. So you couldn't totally do what Märklin does with their C-Track system. But I just found a site that does all the decoders for Märklin for a half or less than half the price of the Märklin decoders. It's a German site called Decoderwerk. And I just bought 2 decoders from them because I want to try them out, that are the same thing as the Märklin 74462, the decoder I put in the turnouts and the double slips. And they're selling them, they were 17 euros each, 17.50 each, but being an American, they took off the VAT, and they were 14 euros 30 cents each to me. 14 euros. And the Märklin 7462 is, I can get it for about 26 euros from Lipa marked down, but that's the cheapest. So 14, 2 of them for 14 or 1 for 26. I'm going to give them a try, see if they work. Yeah, they do. They have pre-ballasted. Roco's got their version of Easy Track. So everybody's done. I mean, there's Bachman or Atlas Easy Track, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But to have the working system underneath, like I know the Bachman Easy Track, you still use fish plates. Now, does Roco do like Märklin, where you can put the motor and the decoder underneath the track and no dropping down? I've never seen it. If they have, I have missed it all these years. I have seen Roco's pre-bedded track. I've seen Piko's pre-bedded track. And then the one thing that like 5 years ago was advertised and a bunch of people were jumping on, and then it disappeared. But it's ballast without the track. It's pre-made ballast bed, and it's designed to fit your standard HO track. You just cut it to length, put your fish plates in, and set your track in. And I thought that actually was a very cool idea, and it seemed to be really popular for about a year, and it's disappeared. But it was like it was ballast without the track in it, but it already had the imprint for the track, so your Atlas track, your Piko track, code 83, code 100, code 75, all fit in it with the HO space sleepers. Tillig still does that? Yeah, and again, you have to do, if you have a budget. When I started this hobby, I was doing expensive stuff, but that's why my first year I had 3 trains and just a couple of loops of track, because that's all I could afford. When they finally gave us back all the pay cuts they took 10 years earlier in my career, I started having a little bit more money and could buy more. And then I really went crazy when I retired and had my big retirement bonuses. Hey, Sir Randall, welcome in, sir. Hope you're well. Sleeper spacing changes between manufacturers. I have seen a lot of HO, and most of it seems to be the same spacing. It almost seems to be standard, but I guess there's always somebody that's going to dare to be different. The man comes through as always. See, yeah, that's dark. Now, did they do lighter? But that would be cool if you don't like ballasting. They've got the basic shapes of their track going. And that's HO. Or is it? Yeah, HO. But all of it I'm seeing says nicht verfügbar, not available. So either they stopped making it or they're redesigning it, because their entire site says not available, nicht verfügbar. Put it on your wish list. But that makes it more expensive than C-Track. To buy the track and then their bedding, if the bedding were available, that's now more expensive than C-Track. So I have seen some pros in Germany, primarily Germany, but continental Europe, that use C-Track, but they just put a little bit of gray, black, white mix right on the outside of it, and they make it look as realistic as regular track. They do a great job at doing that. And I'm probably going to do that as I start, because that's the big thing here now, people, is I am now, for the first time in years, I am going to, I no longer have things holding me back from starting to ballast and do proper scenery now, or improper scenery. One of the reasons I never continued on with my ballasting was because I was not sure I was just not 100% happy with the track. There were some things I didn't like about it, and I always knew I was going to change something in there. To the point where often I would even talk on live streams that I'm just going to rip all of the Bremen side out and start over. Well, now I'm happy with the Bremen side, that I'm going to leave it as is, and I'm going to start ballasting and putting scenery between these lines. I'm that happy with it. Well, hello, Mara. Welcome in. Lord or Lady Mara. Welcome in, Chase Railway Lines. Welcome in, Curly is here. And we're back up to 41 people in the chat. And there's Sir Kieran. Welcome in. Oh, that camera bump. Hey, by the way, on this camera, can anybody notice a little addition I made? I didn't see if anybody pointed it out. Called a mini contest. Does anybody notice anything new or different about this particular view? Only 22 likes and 38 watching. What the hell, people? Do you wait for Joyce to come down and do her Daisy voice before you? Yes, Rusty Twinger is sitting at the edge of the... Rusty Twinger is at the end of the platform 2 and 3. So the unboxings have their own videos this time. Yeah, I really stopped doing unboxing videos, but this one was kind of special, and it kind of fit in with the whole series of videos I was doing with the changeover. Plus, it arrived while Kyan was here. Yeah, if you look between lines 1 and 2, technically lines 2 and 3 coming out of Delmore's, platforms 2 and 3. There's Rusty Twanger playing his banjo sitting at the end. Hard to see on a phone, I gotcha. Well, hello, Sir James from Dundas. I hope you're well. But yeah, we got a Rusty Twanger there. It's very hard to see. And then, if I really want some fun, now, technically I could do this. There, see, it's Rusty Twanger. And then, which one is it? This one? I'll have to rework that. But Joyce and I, unfortunately, we stand in front of the train, so we'll have to stand right here, wait for the train to go past. Well, hello, Mark and Lisa from Moneybrook Junction. Thank you, thank you. Lurking in the background. Okay. Looks a right looker. $100 bonus points if anybody can name what that line's from. He looks a right lurker. I was watching on replay because Dawn Quest told me to come and watch one of her live streams. And the problem is she does them on Wednesday, and Wednesday afternoons I'm busy. I can no longer watch Richard from Trains in the Attic, his live stream, and I used to love going in there. But I have to watch that on catch up. So I watched her little stream or big stream on replay. Looked like a lot of fun. Some of the contests they were having. It's just that every time they had a contest, you kept hearing three names, two of which I knew quite well. EFO got it again, or there's Timber Surf with the answer again. It's like, yeah, no surprise there. But they're asking all these, where in the UK is this? Like, I have no idea. I'm an American. But she commented on our latest song. Dawn, because we met Dawn at Getz and had a very, very friendly, very polite chat. And she had just done a video about going to Miniature Wonderland. And I said, oh, I've been there 6 times and I'm going a 7th time in this coming June. Because that's when I first heard of her channel. It came up on my feed, Dawn Quest Trip to Miniature Wonderland. And I don't, gosh, this shouldn't sound negative at all, but, I'm a small channel. I had not heard of her channel, and I guess she's been around for over a year, almost, I don't know how long, is it going on 2 years? I had never heard of her until that video came up. I mean, if somebody mentioned her in somebody's live stream or live chat, and she's got like 12,000, 13,000 subscribers, and I'd never heard of her. But I will say, on my suggested list, I'll have channels, and I'll click on the channel, and the person will have 25,000 subscribers. I'm like, I've never heard of this person. And they've got, when you've got that many subscribers, you should be known. But especially if it's American, I'm less likely to know. I know of some of the big channels. So I had never heard of her, but I watched her trip to Miniature Wonderland. I was like, okay. She got to talk to one of the people there that Joyce and I have actually met. Now, Joyce and I have actually met Garrett Brown, one of the two twin brothers that are the public owners. They have two silent partners, their dad and a lawyer friend that is technically a silent partner. But from what I understand, and I could be totally wrong, she works for the BBC or Thames Television. She's in the broadcast business. And seems just like a really cool person. But she's obviously had quite a life, because she's talking about when she lived in Hong Kong and when she worked on Thames TV. And I was doing this for the BBC, so she definitely, so she mentioned that she had done songs. Well, she just put it out today, their actual song, Choo Choo I Love You. And that's not a parody song. I guess it's their sort of unofficial theme song. I don't know if she's singing it or somebody else, but it's clearly a top production. Where it's like, Joyce and me, yeah, I write parodies because I don't know I can't play an instrument, so I don't know how to write my own song. I can write my own lyrics. I can write lyrics. Heck, I think I do a good job with most of my parody songs. There are some I look back and go, yeah, that wasn't as good. But like our newest one is already one of my favorites. If it's not the number one favorite, it's tied for number one. Where Joyce sings the Fleetwood Mac song. I'm in love with that. I have played it 50, 100 times just to myself recently. I love it. Hey, Ewan. It's an AI generated song. Yeah, she has a great stream. I just watched the first one. So yeah, I think it's, and I subscribed to her channel recently, but I didn't subscribe when I met her. Because I had to check it out, and I didn't have time to go check it out and see what was all on it. But she's obviously big and growing fast. And she comes across really cool. And what's interesting is it says she works as a life coach, and so I don't know what all she does, but she works like with the BBC and Thames TV, but she's a therapist and an emotional therapist. I'm probably going to say it wrong, so I don't want to put my foot in my mouth, but she works in therapy as well as job motivation, etc., etc. All right, good night, EFO. If you're heading out, thanks for hanging out, and again for the link. And again, EFO, thanks for putting me on those KD couplers. Other than the bogies, that was working out really well. I was pleased that I was able to run Mom and Son's car for a little bit before it started acting up. Which is really, it's just that one bogey is the bad part. It just does not rotate as well as it should. But I'll get better wheels on it too, and that should solve the problems. And that's just it. I watch YouTube every day. I watch very little TV. In the evenings, I will watch movies, and Joyce does have certain times, like Wednesday evenings, where, not that I blame on Joyce, but like I used to watch Heath when he was on Tuesdays, because Tuesday evenings I'm free. Wednesday evenings I'm not free, so I can't watch Heath anymore. So, and I have so many channels I follow, and the difference is, like, there are people that just subscribe to a bunch of channels to support them, but there's no way they could watch all the videos, and certainly they can't comment on all the videos. So I am subscribed to just enough channels that I can watch all the videos, although I admit now I am missing 80% of the shorts people put out. I am missing your shorts, which lends itself to all kinds of jokes. And I've had a couple of shorts I put up that have gone big for me, 16,000 views, 10,000 views. But most of my shorts get a couple hundred views. I only get 200 people looking at my shorts, so I just stopped putting shorts out. Wow, okay, so it opened on Friday. That's cool, Ewan. I would love to go to that one, but I can't. Are you free, Captain Peacock? And I am unanimous in this. But, so anyhow, yeah, just whether, you know, whether she caught lightning in a bottle, as we say over here. Again, I didn't look at her first video to see, because it says 1 year, but until you change 2 years, it'll say 1 year, until you go past 2 years. So 1 year could be 1 year and 1 day, or 1 year, 364 days. So I don't know how long she's been on, but yeah, she obviously has caught fire by storm. She's interesting. She obviously knows how to present well. The live streams look like a lot of fun. The couple of non-live stream videos she's done that I've watched, obviously very well done. Her Miniature Wonderland was a great visit and a solid interview. No hot dog pilot Andy, but I do need to make sure I feed it plenty. I do need to make sure that it's well fed. Hey, Dominic Z, how are you? You were good until 14:30, 2:30 p.m., and then the credit card took a pounding. Yes, and I have only seen part of one layout in one video. Because again, Mara, I have not seen, because anybody who follows my channel knows that women in this hobby take a lot of abuse. They take a lot of crap. I know female modelers who will tell you they go to conventions, they make stuff, they build layouts, and the men just give them crap like, you know, go away, you're a woman, you don't understand anything. And the woman knows more than the man does. So I'm very supportive of any woman, transgender, whatever person, because they take so much abuse anyhow. And then we come into this hobby where we're supposed to be a happy group, and then you still get the jerks that feel they gotta crap on anybody that isn't like them. So, and I got a bad taste in my mouth with the one model train club I joined. I know I don't judge any other train club by the one I joined, but the one I joined, there was so much sexism and racism in it, I finally quit. And when I quit, they got mad at me. Well, you should have said something. I'm like, you sat in these meetings and heard these people using these terms, and you condoned it, which means you're either passively accepting it or you're agreeing with it. And Joyce and I won't be a part of it. If everybody's not welcome, we don't want to be a part of it. There, that's my soapbox. All right, good night, Mark. Thanks for coming in. Really appreciate seeing you. Yes, yes, and if you haven't checked out, if you're in the UK, although they have shipped to America, I don't know if they still will ship to America. Brian, you can answer that. They should, although Wallace and Gromit are more a UK thing. I've seen plenty of Wallace and Gromit, love them, but if you mention something from it specifically, I wouldn't know. So, the anti-pesto van. Yeah, Mara, if you get in the right group, yes, you will find lots of lovely people. But those same people you might find lovely, if you catch them on somebody else's channel, You know, because especially in chats where they feel like, okay, I better be nice. But yeah, most people in the hobby are nice, but it's not like our hobby draws a lot of nice people. Our hobby draws the same percentage of good and bad as any group of people does. We're not all egalitarian or magnificent. Joyce and I try to be. We try to be the best humans we can be. You bought the Adam West Batmobile. That's a good one. Callback jokes, Andy. Callback jokes. I like to consider myself one of the masters of a callback joke. Yeah, and again, it's one thing to, quote, deal with rivet counters, but that was one of the conversations I was watching in Dawn's live stream. So I'm talking about this because it's the first time I actually saw her live stream, but I was watching on because I would have liked to have participated in it. But sadly, she's on at Wednesdays at 2:30 my time, and I'm busy then. I can't attend. And even then, I'd only watch till, if I weren't free, I'd only be able to watch till 3 o'clock because Richard from Trains in the Attic comes on at 3 o'clock. And he's been doing that for years. And he doesn't get the crowd he used to get into his live stream, but I'll always be there when I can for Richard. But I have things happening now Wednesday afternoons, so I can't be there. But yeah, they were talking about rivet counters, and it can get used derogatorily. There's nothing wrong with being a rivet counter until you start being a rivet counter on other people. You know, at one guy, and I had to comment, I couldn't let it slide. He was like, I have a magnet on my refrigerator or whatever that says I'm a rivet counter and proud of it. He says, you know, this guy told me that if it weren't for rivet counters, we would have never reached the moon. And I was like, you're right. In that job, you have to be a rivet counter because otherwise your rocket crashes and people die. But model trains is a hobby. And the people that put the spaceship on the moon, NASA, those people had to be rivet counters. But at the same time, they didn't go to a Ford factory and tell them, you're doing this wrong because this will never reach the moon. Well, we're not trying to reach the moon. We're trying to build a car to drive on a road. Well, you have to do what I'm doing. You know, and so I kind of, in fun and politely, took a little poke at what they were trying to say. Because you can be a rivet counter in your field. But that doesn't mean you can or should be a rivet counter on anybody else outside of your area. So I said it was a bad comparison. Okay? There's nothing wrong with being a rivet counter. You can be as strict and hard as you want on your layout. But that doesn't mean you get to criticize or condemn somebody else because they don't do what you think they should be doing on a model railway. It's a hobby. It's supposed to be a pleasure. The consequences, the circumstances are not remotely as dire as trying to get astronauts to the moon or get a rocket off the ground. You have to be a rivet counter there. You don't have to be a rivet counter in model railways. You can be for yourself, but it stops there. It stops at your layout. That doesn't mean you can't watch other rivet counters and say, here's a guy that does what I like. It doesn't mean you have to watch crappy channels like mine. It just means that I don't hold anybody to my standards. I have a lot of standards, very high standards and things, but I don't hold anybody morally, ethically, IQ-wise to my standards. I have my standards for me, and then you have to decide what's right for you. Oh, I agree, Dominic. I've been very upset when I see like the X-Men line and there's one Dodge and 4 Fords. Whether it's Hot Wheels, Jada, or anybody else. Yeah, there needs to be more Dodges. There's a reason the main cars in all those Fast and Furious movies were Dodges. Whether it was Chargers or Challengers. Yes, they had everybody else, but one of the highlight cars was always a Charger or a Challenger. Well, you know, but sometimes, Mara, I don't let certain you know, and it's not like I'm trying to challenge them to a fight or anything. And again, they weren't commenting to me. They were commenting to Dawn. But I just felt sometimes somebody has to say, hold it right there. There's a big difference. You're making kind of a straw man argument. Yeah, I have channels I loved that were rivet counters. Everard Junction, who is out of the hobby by all reports, but may come back into it in 10 years, 20 years. Hopefully I'll be alive when he comes back. He's a rivet counter. But he's only a rivet counter to himself. And he never has judged anybody else. And he takes flack at times for being a rivet counter. But he says, I've never told anybody else this is how you had to do it or anything else. He says, this is what I want. This is what I need. So he could be a rivet counter. Charlie Chadwick's a rivet counter. But rarely does Charlie ever go, this is the way you do it. I mean, every now and then he kind of does that. But he's such a brilliant guy. And so there are channels that are rivet counters that I do follow and watch. I don't have a problem with the rivet counter as long as they're not preaching and judging and condemning. Now, I was once a subscriber to a channel, a very well-known channel from the UK. A very well-known channel from the UK, who in one of his videos started talking about weathering. And he said, you have to weather. I refuse to watch a channel where the trains aren't weathered. If you're not weathering, why are you in the hobby? And I said, okay, I'm done with you. Hey, Sir Alan of Buckland. Yeah, everybody has faults. You can be the smartest guy in the world and make mistakes because even people you think are smart can be dumb in other areas. Heck, there are occupations like lawyer and doctor where the assumption is you're intelligent. And I have met doctors and I have met lawyers that I wouldn't trust to tie their shoelaces. They're that stupid. But they got a law degree. They can't be stupid. Well, they apparently knew how to get a law degree, but they don't know how to do anything else. Oh, the 1/64 scale, they're collaborating with Majorette. Okay, because Majorette is a company I know. But as I've said many times in live streams and in videos, I follow a channel because of the person presenting. Not how good or how bad anything might be interpreted, but the person. The person is having fun. The person comes across as a good person. Whether they're a rivet counter or just slapping a loop on a table and running their trains happily. I go for the happy people, the friendly people, the inviting people. And the minute they start getting judgmental or hard, I walk away. Oh, you're turning into a Scalextric car. That's interesting. 41 pickup. Man, Dominic, you have so many scales you collect. You need to talk to Tom's Märklin Trains and Layout. Tom, if you're in the background watching, I always forget how your full name goes, even though I talk to you all the time, and you've been at my house and run trains on my layout. Well, hello, Andrew. You're watching from a hotel bar. Well, Andrew, you're now a knight of the Rhomboid table. I declare you. But me, it's not what you do, it's who you are. I love the people that are having fun. They're not judgmental, and I'm probably more judgmental than anybody I follow. Because I tend to judge the judgers. I hate the haters. I have to follow the von Pulper principle. A tolerant society cannot tolerate the intolerant. Karl von Popper, a German sociologist, and it's the Popper principle, which is a tolerant society. If a tolerant society is going to survive, it cannot tolerate the intolerant. It's the hypocrisy. If you tolerate the intolerant take over. Right, you were telling me about that, the Pizza Planet truck. Oh, I indeed, Andy. Well, that's what he used to pick up his children, was the popper scooper. But yeah, it's one of those things, and I kind of live by that. I think I'm easy to get along with until somebody decides to be intolerant. And then Joyce and I are both just, okay, you look like you're going to be intolerant. We don't want to hang around with you. Well, hello, Dave. You can't stay awake, so good night. Well, lucky for you, I can stay awake. But you have a good night. Yes, it is late over there. It is 10 o'clock where you are. I'm still waiting for my co-host, the lovely Joyce, to make her appearance. I don't even know if she's home yet. I haven't heard anybody come home. Oh, Mara, don't get me wrong. There's banter. There's banter. And, you know, if you listen to Jean and me talk at times offline, or even in some of our chats, or me and Artie, we banter and go at each other like two drunken sailors discussing whose Navy's better. There's clearly banter. And that's one thing. That's not intolerance. That's friends having a go at each other. I can't tell you how many times I teased Jean Ricard about being half Danish and half French. I've got a joke I've run with Jean Ricard for years where I tease him about being half Danish, half French. He's half Viking and half French, which means he invades your country and then surrenders. I think that's hilarious. The French probably don't, the Danish probably don't, but I do. And Jean laughs at it. And a lot of people laugh at it. You're currently building a ratio kit of the grounded coach, but you're going to make it into Rosie's Cafe. Yeah. See, we'll watch this guy going across in the back. See, I really, now that I've got, you can see how this has changed. There used to be all the trains in the middle, but now there's a gap there. Where'd he go? Oh. I had the one in the wrong lane. So we'll have two going up the back here. I don't show this camera as much as I should. So there goes the IC Amtrak. There goes that. And now we got one in this way. So we got all three at one time. Only problem is the one in the front blocks the one in the back. No, I did not know that, Dominique. I did not know that. That's all it has to be, Dave, is a start. My gosh, I started this layout 8 years ago, and I haven't worked on it for 4 years, and then all of a sudden I had a mad spurt the last 2 weeks, week and a half. It's been crazy, but it's been fun. Yeah, Raymond, that was another one where that podcast started going after her, and their whole judgment of her was because she was a woman. It had their comments about her had nothing to do why the company that they were criticizing was struggling. She is not the face of the company. She doesn't make the corporate decisions. She was merely a representative, and they attacked her, and it was because she was a woman. Well, yeah, and that's a cool thing, Dominique, is you get that thing, you get that thing where it's the craziness, where it's off the wall, and they do the things nobody else will do. And my thing is, there are so many things to collect. Oh, Monsville, that's cool. Magic word. That's very cool. Yep, Lee, you got 2. You got to get them both running. Actually show trains running, though. My problem is if I were to name anything on my layout after my pets, at least the 2 I have now, they would be too dirty to repeat on channel. But of course, mine is based on actual places, although nothing is realistic about it other than the Delmenhorst station. Hey, CMD, all right, dinner at 5 o'clock? Well, you are of European nature. All right, good night, Kieran. Hey, CMD, how are you doing? Jada's released Naruto-themed Honda S. Well, see, it's Honda. It's Honda. Can't do it. All right, well, thank you for popping in, Mark and Lisa. Good evening. Take care. You're so unimpressed by anything, Pullman. Ah. Uh-oh, the gloves are off. Might as well start a Hornby versus Bachman fight while we're at it. 3-rail versus 2-rail while we're at it. HO versus N-scale. Let the fighting begin. Ah, Dicky Toys. Now that's related because I don't know if you know this, Dominique, but Dicky Toys is part of Simba Dicky Corporation, which owns Märklin. So now you're talking something very directly related to me because Dicky Toys is a co-company with Märklin under the same corporation. Transformer robots in disguise. Oh, well, I can do that. Here. I can do that. Watch me. Magic. Here's Optimus Prime disguised as a kangaroo with Bumblebee inside. Transform! Transform! Come on, transform! Yeah, I think he was trying to type Moneybrook and got Monsville instead. No, obviously I did not know that. A kiwi is a far better animal than a kangaroo. Yeah, but might be harder for Optimus Prime to condense down into. I don't know. I mean, I like Pullmans. Doesn't mean I like every Pullman, but like the Midland Blue Pullman train, I love that train. There are some beautiful Pullman coaches I've seen. To me, I don't think it's like Class 37 locos. Ready for another fight? Class 37s can look really cool, like the Euro Phoenix design, or they can look downright ugly. It just depends on the livery on them. 43s tend to look cool. The only time a 43 doesn't look cool is when somebody like Colas bought them and it's got like the old Virgin paint scheme that's fading and gone bad, and all they did was stick a Colas diamond logo over a large part of it, and then it just like put some effort in it. Paint the whole thing yellow and red, something, you know, just give it a fresh coat of paint, all white, and it would look cool. But, you know, they're buying them used and beat up, and they're not going to put the effort into making them look cool. Yes, he was a gorilla in Beast Wars. I know that. Fine, fine. Here we go. Oh, wait, there it is. There it is. I had to figure out where Kyan hit it. Come on, Optimus! Transform! Transform! The Autobots need you! Optimus, you gotta transform! Optimus, come on, wake up! Wake up! Wakey, wakey! Come on, Optimus, wake up! He won't transform. I don't know. My toy's broken, Jade. I'll have to send it back, Dominic. All right, one of you has to speed up. You two have been running side by side for a while now. Let me get one ahead a bit. Yes, Andy! You can smell. Oh, I'm sorry. Spell. You meant spell. That's where your typo really gets you in trouble. Yeah, but Bumblebee is Bumblebee. He's always going to be the one car, which... Wasn't it like a Camaro? I don't know. What car did Bumblebee start as? Because in the cartoon show, or in the models I've seen, he's usually like an American Camaro. Hey, I see Greg is here. Hi, Greg! Yeah, I'm sorry, Greg. But, you know, you got... It's... I'm drawn to fun. As long as the fun isn't at the expense of good people. You know, that's right, a Beetle. I'm thinking somebody else. He was a Volkswagen Beetle. Yep. I'm sorry, it's been... my son was never into Transformers because they had kind of fallen out of popularity when my son was growing up. So it was my much older nieces and nephews. They were big into Transformers. And I had friends that had younger brothers into Transformers when the toys came out. And so I used to know a bit more about them, but now I just know some of the names. Yeah, both versions of them as a model. But see, me, I had to learn that both as a toy collector and as a model train collector is there was so many cool things, you can't own them all. Now, trust me, there's a certain Danish man asleep in the background who will say, Anthony, I tell you this all the time and you ignore me and you go and buy this and this and this and this. And I said, yeah, but there's also other things I would buy that I don't. Although even Joyce looked at me when I announced I was buying another ICE3 and she says, do you really need another one? How many ICE3s is that? And I was like, it's my third. She said, do you really need another one? I said, well, I don't want to take the other two I have and put the German stripes on them since that one's already started. And then I might take my old one and put the blue stripes on it. Well, Andrew, to be honest, I thought the Virgin livery look was good. It's when you have the old livery that's faded and then they just stick something else on it. And it just, you know, it's like they didn't care, which they didn't. We bought it, our name's on it, let's go. But they look so beat up and run down. If you take a 43 and give it a clean paint job, they still, they're good machines. They're still going 45 years or whatever it is later. How many of them are still out there and being used and reused? Heck, one of the coolest ones I saw was a Scotrail 43, and it was the most comfortable train I rode in the UK. Joyce and I rode. We got upgraded for a couple of pounds each to first class. Nice leather seats. That was some of the most comfortable seating I've had on any train anywhere. And it was a 43 pulling it, and then the coaches. And it was a gorgeous train. If I could find a model of that train, I'd have it. Hello, Sir Pete of Delft Junction and Lady Sue. Welcome in, welcome in. So I am quite, you know, for example, anybody who follows me knows that I have recently become quite enamored of the Class 68s and 88s over there in the UK. My little Scotrail 68. I wanted a Transpennine until I saw that one. And then that guy going around, probably too fast. That's one of my favorite locos. Not one of my favorite UK locos. One of my favorite locos. That includes all my German stock. I love that 68. It's gorgeous. I wish there was a way I could convert it, make it 3-rail, and run it up here. And I know people are like, well, you should make one of your lines DC or analog. No, I don't want to do that. That's why I wish there was a way I can convert that. I'm not going to make one of these lines analog or DC. That just opens too many cans of worms. I don't want to do it. My layout, other than the aesthetic things I've always wanted to fix that are now fixed, is as I want it and need it to be. But yes, I would love to have my Azuma. Could you imagine my Railjet, one of my ICEs, and my Azuma side by side running on my layout? That would be, that's a fanboy train dream. If I were running DC, I could do that. But I don't run DC, I run AC. Tell Hornby to start making some 3-rail, darn it. Make some British stock that can run on the biggest German company rail lines. Come on. Even the American company MTH made stuff for Märklin. Hornby could get on this. There's no 3-rail stock. Hornby has a market. Hornby has a market waiting for them if they wanted to be the first to jump in it, or a Cura scale. British stock in HO3 rail because the German companies don't make it, but there's a lot of people who want it. Why do you think the Flying Scotsman from Märklin sold out so fast? Because everybody wanted a UK loco in HO for 3-rail. Yes, they did make 3-rail. A lot of companies made 3-rail, but it just was cheaper to go to 2-rail. It's cheaper to make 2-rail engines. It's cheaper to make 2-rail track. When you're doing millions of foot of track a year, those savings add up. Yeah, I actually saw those in a catalog of something, Dominique, the G.I. Joe Hot Wheels. But Hot Wheels has done G.I. Joe before. They're just kind of bringing it back. So how's the poll doing? So 77% of you say yes, you read the description. 23% of you say you don't read it. I always do. Yes, Electrotrain was 3-rail. I had read about that. They were 3-rail. There's several companies that... Lionel used to make a 3-rail HO scale. I think Lionel still makes HO, or where's my Lionel people? Are they completely out of the HO business and they're just Lionel scale, O scale? Because Lionel made HO at one time. Yeah, Hornby Dublo was 3-rail back at the time. And they were very similar to the Lionel system with the brush. If I remember correctly, because at one time Lionel for the 3rd rail had a brush like a slot car. Amen. Yeah, Edgar. And that's the other one that gets me. I have seen trains being pulled by 243s where they obviously got them from 2 different companies. Like one picked them up from Western Midlands Rail, and the other one picked it up from, Virgin. So you got this purple, fading purple with the cola sticker on it, 43 at the front, and then this white, black, and red Virgin livery, all faded and looking gnarled, and the colas diamond stuck on it. And at the risk of being a jerk, I find that so unattractive. It's my autism, it's my ADHD. I need the train ends to match. But I think 43s are gorgeous, and the 91s and 92s that kind of share the shape, also very cool. But I'll tell you what, collar and cuffs, that's right. The hardest thing for me of the UK train hobby is trying to keep straight the interactions of these companies that at times were joined, at times weren't. Hornby, Dublo, and Triang. And like, Triang was the original company, and then it was Hornby, Triang, and then it was Hornby and Triang were separate, and then somewhere Hornby Dublo comes in, and there was also Meccano was somehow connected, and I've read Wikipedia article on the Hornby train brand name, and I still don't understand what was what when. Yeah, Andrew, see, I wanted the 68 in Transpennine. Transpennine is one of my favorite liveries. I would have loved a 68 and those new coaches that came out a couple of years ago that sold out were so expensive. A rake of 5 of them with a 68. I think that's a beautiful train. The problem is, I then saw the Scotrail at Joyce. Joyce would tell you, I was going to come home with a TransPennine 68. And then I saw the Scotrail 68, and my brain went, yeah. Have you ever seen the meme that gets overused? It's an American meme, but I'm sure it's been seen in the UK, where there's a guy walking with a girl, and another pretty girl is walking past, and the guy is turned around to look at the girl, and the girl the guy is with is turned around looking at him, looking at the other girl with a horrified look on her face, like... Now, first of all, that was a staged photograph as part of a magazine article years ago. But it gets used in memes all the time. You know, the guy that's got something good, but he's looking at something when he shouldn't be because he's got... that was me with the TransPennine looking at the Scotrail 68. Like, I was walking along with TransPennine going, this is the one I want, this is the one I want, this is the one I'm happy with. And then I saw the Scotrail and I was like, goodbye. And I dropped the TransPennine and got the Scotrail. The only way I'll have a TransPennine 68 now is if somebody gifted me one. And no, I'm not asking for a gift. No, I'm just saying I bought the 68. I'm happy with it, but I did betray the TransPennine. Oh, that's right. Dino's is doing 3D. Slow and steady. Yep, it takes time. On the flip side, I started figuring out, and then I stopped 3D printing. I've got buildings for Delmenhorst that I need to start printing again, and I haven't run my 3D printer in close to a year. I need to warm that thing up and start printing again. Yeah, the Saltire. But yeah, like this group of cars, I need 2 more of these cars. 1 more of each, and then I'll be happy with the 4-car set. And then I just need to go from there. Holy crap, it is 5:30. Where is Joyce? Then again, maybe that's a message from her. Nope, that's Randall. Sent me pictures. Aha. That's an Aussie one, Randall. Or... Man, I miss the old Model Railway Network guys. They keep the Facebook train going, but half of them aren't, 2/3 of them aren't on YouTube anymore. Only Richard from New Junction seems to really be consistently on YouTube, and Hornby, Dublo, Meccano was first, went broke, trying bought them, went to trying Hornby, then went broke too, got bought out, and then they just went down to Hornby to keep the name simple. That's cool to know. Thank you. You made that very concise and easy. Because Lord knows I need concise and easy at times. There's a book on the history of Hornby. You can't remember the author. Tragedy. Let's see this page that Delph is sharing. Shed Junction, 30 subscribers. Says taking a 5-year break. I wonder, did he have a name beforehand? Or she, see, assuming male. Did they have a channel beforehand. They said they were, after a 5-year break, they're back. So I just wonder. Oh, I wonder, hoop-a-doo-ba-boop. Okay, Akira Scale's going to run them again. That's the problem. That's the problem. Now it's too late. Now I've committed. Now they're going to have another run. Now they said 2 years ago they were going to do another run, but I wasn't going to wait 2 years. Because I also love the Caledonian Sleepers. And I might have more reason to buy a Caledonian Sleeper set because Joyce and I will be riding a Caledonian Sleeper on our next trip to the UK. We're going to take it from London to Inverness. Pat Hammond was the author you're thinking of. Okay. Wow. Amazing. You guys pull those names out. Caravan vlogger. Well, that was like, I used to follow Dan Brown, not a caravan vlogger, but Dan Brown. Sort of interesting. But life happens, and he doesn't post anything on any of his channels now. All of his sort of interesting channels are kind of dead. No one else's chats are appearing on your screen. You might need to refresh. Might just need to refresh. Sometimes that happens. Joyce, where are you? You're half an hour late. Are you even home? Where are you, wifey poo? I don't know which messenger to contact her with. That woman is a workaholic. Because not only does she do her work, she does work for other people as well to help them out. And she doesn't know how to say no, and she doesn't know when to say, I need a break. Anytime she thinks she needs a break, she sees it as a weakness. And she'll finally talk herself into taking a day off, and then the whole day off, she's just going, oh my God, I'm going to have so much work when I go back tomorrow. I'm going to have so much work. Why did I take this day off? Because you needed to not be working today. That's one of the reasons I can't talk her into retiring. She's scared she'll have nothing to do, and I'm like, no, we'll have lots of time to do lots of things. We can go, go back to the gym club and work out every day. We can, join bowling leagues and, no, she's still at work. 5:35. Her day ended at 3:15, and she's still at work. But she'll be leaving soon. In other words, I don't think we're going to see Joyce on the live stream tonight. The thing is, I am a hard worker when I work. When I did my job, I worked very hard. I put as much into it as anybody doing their job. I was full on a very physical teacher, doing anything, jumping up and down, flipping over desks, running around my classroom, anything to keep my students awake and engaged. But when I went home, when the day was over, maybe I graded some papers, but that was it. Job forgotten. On the weekend, job forgotten. When my day ended at 2:45, I was done being a teacher. I was now just a human being. And then I would go up 6 in the morning, because that's it. She goes in an hour, hour and a half before she starts work, and then she stays anywhere from an hour and a half to 2, sometimes 3 hours after work. And then she still does all this work at home too. The Three Lines Brothers. Yes, now I remembered that. It was three brothers who started trying. I wouldn't have remembered their names, but it was kind of why they were trying. Real Caledonian sleepers are everywhere in the UK. Yep, but I just love the ones with the green and the stag semi-face at the end of each car. I think they're beautiful. I think it's a cool train. I can't justify buying one yet, but if I ride it, it's justified. I don't work harder, but I have less. I shouldn't say I have less free time. It's nothing but free time, but I fill it up more. I used to work and come home from work and try to squeeze everything I could in before I went to bed. But now, I'll spend 6 hours sitting in my chair in the living room reading a book because I want to read this book and I've got no reason to put it down and do something else. I built that deck last year and still tried to maintain a YouTube presence. But that was a lot of work because I had to rip one out, double check everything, get the pieces, rebuild. I did it all myself. I did not have any real help building that deck where I'm used to kids and Joyce helping me. But they were at work. I was home, so I built it myself. And so it took me longer than it would have taken me had I had the help I was used to having. But I would work from 8 in the morning till 7 or 8 in the evening just on that and then try to catch up with YouTube. You fell asleep at a red signal once. Oh. Less stress now that you're semi-retired. Yeah, the problem is because of the job you do where you were what's the proper term? A contractor, a commission worker. Commission's the wrong term. Where you're either over busy and money's coming in, or you're not busy at all and there's no money coming in. And unless you manage to save it to the side and you go a long time between contracts, you're hurting. Well, Mara, it was the loud bang at the back of his train or the front of his train, depending on how you want to see the joke, that woke him up. Whoa! Hey! What happened to the rails? I don't remember these tracks going over water. Wait, they're not going over water. The water is going over the tracks. Oops. But yeah, I mean, that is the biggest difference. I have so much less stress. Joyce does. I mean, there was a thing because we both worked in the same profession. We didn't want to come home and dump on each other, but there were days where you just had to, like, oh my God. And then certain events, political events and so forth, would affect us both the same because we were in the same system, same occupation. Pay cuts hurt us doubly and stuff like that. So we did have to commiserate. But now that I'm retired, Joyce brings home all of it. And it's hard because she's been a teacher for 34 years. And you know, she wants to go 37 years because she gets a big bonus in her retirement if she goes 37. And it's like, she wants to at least get to 35, which I think is 2 more years. So she's 33 now, 33 years in. She wants to get to 35, which is either next year or the following year. At least 35, but she wanted to go 37. But, you know, the thing is, you can't say when you're going to retire. Your brain will tell you when it's time. But you got to listen to it. She's got the years in. She can retire. She could retire next year and be at this, have a higher retirement pay than me. But She'd get a bigger buyout retirement bonus than I got, so we would be fine. She would be earning more money than me. But all she sees is the extra 0.5% if she goes another year. And it's like, we don't need that. We'll be fine. But I could have kept teaching even into this year and done 30, what would I be now, 39 years in? I could have kept going, but there were things that were coming up in the next year I didn't want to do again. I had to do all these things, the state renewal, the local renewal, the license renewal, the state evaluations, the principal evaluations, the Ohio teacher evaluation system. I had to do all of these to the max, plus I had to take it. I had to get 6 hours of college coursework in to renew my license. All of this came heads at the same time. And I just, the year that wound up being my last, or at the start of the year that was going to be my last, my last year. I just looked ahead at what I would have to do that year and the following year, and I said, I can't do it again. I don't want to do that anymore. If I just got to teach, if I could just walk in and teach and not have all the evaluators and all the paperwork and all the other crap, I would have kept teaching. But I was so tired of the bureaucracy. I was so tired of the political oversight and all the things I had to do to keep teaching. 35 years in should have proved I'm a good teacher. And to have to fulfill all this stuff that politicians were forcing us to do and regulations were forcing us to do, administrators were forcing us to do, teaching, I was still good to go. That stuff I just couldn't put up with anymore. Exactly. Is it worth the stress? That's just it. Do I miss it? No. And I've got teacher friends and other people that are like, how do you not miss it? I don't miss it. In my brain, when I started teaching, I was supposed to be able to do 30 years and retire. I wound up having to do 36. I went 6 years longer than I spent half my career, the first 20 years of my career teaching. Thinking I'll be done. I hit year 20 and said, I'll be done in 10 years. And then they changed the law and said, okay, you have to go 35 years to retire. So they added 5 years. I was like, down to single digits, back up to double digits. I don't miss it. The only thing I miss from teaching are aesthetic things, ethereal things. I missed when my students were engaged and I could work with them through several years, like the German program, where I'd have kids first year, second year, third year, fourth year, where I'd have the same kids for 4 straight years or even 3 straight years, and just really got to know them. And I was their favorite teacher, and they were in the club, and they were working on the exchange program. They did all the fundraising we did, and we just got to know each other, and we did the shows that my German club did. I missed those relationships, but those things were becoming fewer as my class became a dumping ground. Like, oh, we can't handle this kid, give him to Dodge. We can't handle this kid, give him to Dodge. So they were throwing kids. Okay, our school year would start in August. I would be getting a kid who had not had a lick of German, and they were throwing him in my German 1 class in December. And then it was my job to catch them up. They had missed almost half a year of German 1, and they're throwing them in the middle of my German 1 class, expecting me to somehow do all the extra work to get this kid caught up when I'm doing all the other crap to keep my other kids on government pace. My class became a dumping ground. Plus, it was an unhappy camper coming in and out. Oh, this kid got kicked out of this class, so we're putting him in your class. Because you know how to deal with these kids. Yeah, I know how to deal with these kids. I know how to work with these kids. But guess what? When I developed that reputation, I was 30, 35, 40. I'm 55 now. It's not as easy for me. And they're still just, any kid that gets kicked out of class, give them to Dodge. Throw them in his mythology class, throw them in here. So I'm getting kids that weren't happy to be in school, and now they're throwing them all in one class. So, I enjoyed my job. I enjoyed it. And the thing is, I didn't quit because I hated my job. I quit because I was tired of all the ancillary things. Like I said, if they'd just let me go in and teach and not have to do all the other crap, like, you know what? You reach 35 years, you don't have to do this stuff anymore. You've survived 35 years, congrats. Just go in and teach. I probably would have taught a couple of more years. But the thing is, you should always leave your job while you still like it. If you wait until you hate it, it beats you up. I've seen teachers that went 40 years, but their last 2, they hated. And the stress and the agony, they retired after 40 years and they dropped dead a year into retirement. And it wasn't that they missed the job. They had just stressed themselves out so far, and the last couple of years were such a misery. Sometimes you got to know when to go. Like professional athletes. Sometimes the game tells you when to retire. You can say, I'm going to play 12 years in the Premier League or 15 years in the NFL, whatever. And sometimes the game says, nope, you're going to do 10 and you're done. Hi, do I know you? Da 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 da. Hey, you're here just in time to say bye to everybody.
Just about, yeah, I know. I'm
Here,
sorry.
move the girl out of the way. Have a mic.
Okay.
Let's get a camera on you.
Yep. Alright, well, hi everybody. Yeah, sorry, very late. Lots going on. So, hi Raymond. Hi Pete. Hi Randall. Hi Colin. Hi Tom. Hi Andy. Wave. Hi Lee. Yeah, I'm tired. Hi Mick. It's still very, very icy. So getting home is kind of interesting. So, hi Andrew. I just get a little out of breath walking. So, Dino. Hi there, Mr. Oh, golly. Okay. Hi, Billy. Hi, Lord Allen. Hi, Tom. Hi, Monsville.
There we go.
Hi, Mara.
Took me a while to find it.
Hi, Andy. Hi, Bailey. This is Christopher.
No.
else
You
no.
got that wrong.
I got Bailey.
It's mountain high, valley low.
Okay.
So you say low valley.
So, low valley. Oh, okay. And hi there, Grandpa Reels. Hi there, Greg. I hope your family's well, Greg. So, yeah, the glasses are still...
What?
Glasses are still dark.
Yeah, you got your shades on. She's a starlet.
I'm a starlet. There you go. Hi, Beverly. Oh, wait. So, we have a 4th grade concert.
To the new people in the room, to the new people here, this is my wife, Joy. She always comes down. Usually she's here about 5 o'clock, but not this year.
Typically sorry.
And she is my partner in crime.
Okay, yeah,
We've
for
just
sure.
never been convicted.
Yeah, that.
Although we have served 37 and a half years together.
It's weird.
Actually, 41 and a half. 37 and a half.
Married. Yeah, right. River wide enough. Yeah, I found out from my kids. We have our 4th grade concert. It's a 4th grade concert.
Right.
On Friday. And I asked, is Mr. Dolph, he's preparing you guys for this, right? And they went, no. Oh, so I had to talk to Missy after I was emailing her, so I had to talk to her. Yeah, I'm a bit out of breath. It'll get better here. Don't worry about it, Pete.
She stressing from work and the hard walk home because it's still ice out there.
Yeah, and there's snow that covers a lot of it. At this point, it's sort of warm enough. It's crunching a little bit, but it was just, it's pretty,
it's
a challenging
that's
walk.
Just
yeah.
it. I was
Yeah,
not
it's supposed
burned
to
out.
warm out. It's supposed to warm it'll be over freezing next week. And so this is, man, it's supposed to rain, so this is all going to melt, but...
I have seen colleagues burn out, but I was never burnt out. I still enjoyed my job, but I didn't enjoy, once I got out of my classroom, dealing with the, because I was department head, so I was constantly having to fight to defend my job, the Japanese teacher's job, the French teacher's job, because there are people like, we just need Spanish, we don't need any other foreign languages. Right. They had already gotten rid of Latin. We had Latin forever, and I lost that fight, but I kept German and Japanese going, although Japanese was only half a day at our school the last few years, and then half at another.
Sure
but
you did, Andy.
It's that stuff that just...
Are you kidding? I have seen teachers implode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we implode.
At least 2 of them ended up getting fired because they just lost their absolute crap.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying.
It just broke my heart, both cases, to see them just absolutely sabotage.
They're supposed to be having a concert, and the music teacher wasn't preparing them for it.
I know, yeah, he wasn't. So I have to do it now. And what time? I don't know. I gotta find time.
Or you cancel the concert.
They're not doing the hand jive, so I don't teach that. You left a brilliant job, huh?
Well, that's what we say, Randall. They didn't pay us enough.
Randall.
We did it out of dedication.
Yeah,
it's a vocation. Sure. It's not an occupation. It's a vocation. You're called.
Yeah, it really is. You have the talent to teach, or you don't. We've all had teachers who did not have the talent but persevered anyway, and it was a lousy year or years for you.
But yeah,
if you have that talent, you can get better. You know, we learn all the time. But if you don't have the talent, you'll never get better.
I mean, I had a couple of bad classes my last year. Yeah. And there were days I came home going, but I came home like that after bad classes. Right. But I also ended my day. I had one of my most beautiful classes to end my day with my last year. They were just awesome. I love those guys. Yeah. And my 5th period class. And fortunately, the really bad class was only the first half of the year because it was a semester class. Yeah. And the second half was much better.
Always really good kids. Always.
Always. Most of them.
Yeah, and more are good than not.
Vast majority are nice kids. And some that are rough, you can win over. Some you can never win over.
Right.
But like I keep saying, I love my job. I love teaching. I just got tired of all the crap.
No, they don't.
That the administration's put on you.
Yeah.
You have to do all this paperwork all year long. You have to do all this paperwork to prove you're a good teacher. I've been teaching for 36 years and nobody can replace me. I think that's proof I'm a good teacher. My kids are graduating. My kids are doing well on their tests. I think that proves I'm a good teacher. Yeah. No. We got to prove, politicians. We got to prove to parents we're beating these union teachers down and we're holding them accountable, and nobody holds them accountable, but I'm getting political.
Yeah.
But it's that stuff. And also, if you have a bad principal, and I did not like my school head, my principal, my last few years. Very unpleasant person who wanted to eliminate my entire department because she had pet projects that she wanted to throw in our rooms. And one of my, when I retired, she asked me to clean the closets in my room and get rid of all the books. And I didn't. What are they going to do? Fire me?
Right.
I said, you've eliminated my job. You refuse to hire somebody to take over for me. You get rid of it. You got rid of my job. You get rid of the books.
Anthony is fluent in German and English, and you speak a little bit of French. And a little bit of Spanish.
A little bit of French, a little bit of Spanish, just to get my face slapped or to call for help. And then anytime I go to a country where I don't know the language, I usually try to study all the basics.
At least a few phrases, and the please and the thank you.
The please and the thank yous and the where is and always try. Like, I want to be able to go into a restaurant and order in that language, the basics.
Right.
But yeah, I wish I spoke a lot more languages.
Yeah.
My thing is I speak German and I speak a bunch of dialects of German.
Anthony speaks good train.
Oh, well, thank you for that, Andy. I don't think I speak it as well as the vast majority of you because I've only been learning the language at least recently.
Yep. Well,
the thing is, Randall, until the last few years of my career, I could do that. I could get in a kid's face and tell them where to stick it. And the parents would come in and I'd tell them where to stick it. But usually I had all the evidence to show I was in the right, and I had principals that would back me up. But our last principal would stab you in the back as much as look at you. She was a principal where she had ideas on how things should be done, and a lot of people disagreed with her, but you either did it her way or she hated you. You were either part of her team or you were the enemy, and she made it a very unpleasant work environment. And a lot of teachers transferred or retired earlier than they wanted to because they got tired of dealing with her. And I fought, and I didn't retire because of her. I just retired that too many things came up for the next year, and it's like, I've done enough, I can retire. And my retirement will be fine.
Yeah.
Hell, I've quadrupled my train collection since I retired.
It's very true. Yeah, I have a parent. This kid had a terrible day.
I like that, Tom, but yeah, we would say principal without principles.
The only way I get hold of Dad is email. He said, oh, well, he responded today. He doesn't always, and said, you need my new phone number. So I called that new phone number. Went straight to voicemail, which means he didn't pay for his minutes.
Yeah, the two greatest tricks to being a successful teacher, not even a good teacher, but a successful teacher, is the kids have got to believe you care about them as human.
Yeah.
They got to believe you care about them. And secondly, they got to believe you like what you're doing. Actually, you got to like what you're doing.
You do.
If you're faking it, they know it.
Oh, for sure they do.
And thirdly, helps is you gotta kind of know the BS from kids. You gotta be able to read the BS.
Yeah.
Because kids, especially kids from certain areas, from certain financial backgrounds, they'll try to, rich and poor, they'll try to pull it out on you. If they think they can get one by you, they will try.
Yeah.
And I was very good because the type of students I taught in many cases, I grew up. I knew, the phrase we always had when I was a teacher is I had street cred with my students. Right. I had street cred. I could have never taught as well and successful as I did. Well, I would have been as successful in a very uppity private school. But I was very successful in urban because I could talk about things and those kids knew I was honest.
Oh. We're still here. Kyan says you guys are sharing custody of the chair, apparently.
Oh, okay. Well, let's get this done. But yeah, we're already at.
Did we say hello? Did you say hello?
I said hi to him earlier, briefly,
okay,
but it wasn't with Oma. All right, if you're new to the channel, plug your ears. Kyan is our grandson.
Only grandson.
Our only grandchild.
Right.
All right, you ready?
Yep.
Kyan! Opa loves you! Kyan! Up, 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 up. Love you, dude.
Love you, honey.
And Kyan appeared in a video this week for the first time in at least a year. It's been a while since Kyan's been in a video.
That has been.
Yeah,
a lot of you made comment on that too. He's getting big.
Yeah. Yeah, I see him 3 days a week.
Oh, yeah, we see him all the time, so we know.
But you look at a picture from 6 months ago, dang, he's grown.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I think the biggest thing is just how much his vocabulary's grown since he started preschool. That's pretty crazy. Yeah, the only one.
Yeah, Randall.
Children. Yeah.
The thing is, it shouldn't sound politics or sound like my politics. But again, yeah, I mean, I believe in honesty and openness, and I believe in everybody gets a chance. But I've had kids. I've had kids. My last year, there's two boys that. At the end of the year, I would have liked to have taken them out behind a place and beaten the crap out of both of them because they were a couple of little that just had no respect for the job and wanted to play the games. And because they played on the American football team, they thought they could get away with a lot of stuff even when the season was over. But they were arrogant jerks. They wouldn't turn in work. They would skip my class all the time and hide out in the bathroom or sometimes even hide out in the coach's room.
Yeah.
And it's like, the coach is letting them skip class.
Right.
Yeah, well, your class isn't that important. They're assigned to my class and I have a job. And then a week before the quarter or the semester ends, they come up like, can I have all the work and do the makeup work? No.
I'm not grading all that.
You cannot. And it's like, you have to give me the makeup work.
Says who? Yeah, they do.
Well, your own rules say that we can always turn in the work late. I said, yes, but I also say with exceptions. And you're the exception. You skipped my class all year. You made no effort to learn anything. And now you want to just copy somebody else's work and turn it all in so you can pass my class? No.
Yeah.
You do all the work yourself. And you take the exam.
Right. Yeah, sorry, Pete. Usually it's earlier in the chat, too. So, yeah. You know, he comes to our channel, so it's nice. You take me out to dinner tonight?
Yeah, we can go out to dinner tonight. I figured I might.
Yeah.
Where do you want to go?
I don't know. You want to go to Red Robin?
We can go to Red Robin.
I'll take Lizzie with us,
if she wants.
if she wants.
Okay, well, it
Yeah.
is 6 o'clock, so we probably... I'm sorry you came in late.
Yeah, I'm sorry I came in late,
I look
too.
forward to you coming in.
I know you do. I'm very sorry. I was rushing.
I'm sorry, you are late, so there will be discipline. I can feel those eyes burning in the back of my skull.
Could. So
There
70
shall be consequences.
76 people admitted, or at least said, that they read your video description. Is that how that works?
Yeah. No, I said, do you read video descriptions, period, not just
Anybody's
mine.
video descriptions.
78%.
Ah.
A hefty number, 78%.
All right. Good night, Mara. Sleep well.
Mind the gap. Mind the gap.
See, is it so much easier? When I was turning those off, I had to get them in the right space. What's buzzing? Somebody's buzzing. I didn't want to stop.
Did somebody derail it? Yeah.
Buzz, buzz, buzz. I want to keep going.
Oh, that's got to be the 1111. I think he's probably just... He's still buzzing. He might be that I did not turn him off all the way. Yeah. He's complaining. I'm not done yet. Yeah, that's... No, I'm sorry. It's the 363.
He's trying to move.
He'll stop. Yeah, the white one.
Yeah.
The white one, the 363, right. Yeah, because he was set at 1 mile an hour, and that old guy isn't going to do 1 mile an hour, and that's what he's squawking about.
It's
No.
too slow.
I'm either 60 or I'm still. But that's why he's squawking, because the engine's like, go, and the motor's like, no. All right, so anyhow, I guess we better
Yeah, they're
bring
all
this
leaving,
to-
so.
All right. Anyhow, sorry Joyce
We
came
should
in
speak
late.
about- Joyce is sorry Joyce came in late.
Joyce says she's sorry she came in late.
Work was
There
a
shall be
lot.
consequences.
You will be dealt with. You will be shot and asked to leave the country. You will have no pudding.
Can't eat your cake.
It is I, Leclerc.
It's I, Leclerc.
It is I, Leclerc. All right, everybody,
All
thanks for
right.
joining us. Hopefully we didn't
Glad you were
upset or
here.
depress anybody with some of the
Hopefully
deep topics
not.
of teaching and some stuff. Take care. We'll see you in your videos and other people's live streams, or we'll see you back here next Friday.
week,
I
yep.
promise there won't be 5 videos next week, although I have at least one more and a second one in the works. So until then, we are going to say Auf Wiedersehen
Choose.
and happy trains. Take care, everybody.
Bye.